Well, I will be. This is just my study break.
The wheels are turning at U of T. This is City TV, everywhere.
CityPulse News. 90 minutes of news, weather, sports, and information. Our CityPulse News teams comb Metro, bringing you up-to-the-second developments in consumer affairs, health, business, and entertainment. CityPulse News. The stories you need to know to understand Toronto.
As CityPulse anchorman, I'm constantly challenged by the question, how is this show different? What makes it unique?
On City TV, Channel 79, Cable 7, this is CityPulse News at 10 with Dave Reynolds and Bill Cameron.
Evening, this is what's happening.
August 18th, 1981. This is Toronto. TTC contract vote. The Spadina surprise. Dennis, no menace. CityPulse with Gord Martineau, Deanie Petty, John Saunders, and the CityPulse News team brings you Toronto's news.
Good evening. We should know before 7 o'clock tonight the results of a contract ratification.
New Year's Eve, 1982. This is Toronto. The Bishop's Descent, Year of the Holdup, and Love and Taxes. CityPulse with Gord Martineau, Deanie Petty, Peter Gross, and the CityPulse News team brings you Toronto's news.
Good evening. A stinging condemnation by Canadian bishops of our economic priorities.
On City TV, Channel 79, Cable 7, this is CityPulse Tonight with Deanie Petty.
Good evening. Our top stories tonight, a tragic fire in the apartment tower above the Plaza 2 Hotel. One man is dead, scores are homeless. We have a series of reports. Homicide officers are investigating Metro's 29th murder of the year, a beating death on Toronto's Skid Row. And the Argonauts in first place and fighting like hell to stay there. First, the fire.
And now, the Labatt's News Flash from City Pulse.
Good evening. On City Pulse tonight, media tycoon Ted Turner launches a bid to buy the CBS network.
Labor Day, 1984. This is Toronto. Via Rail Blast, London Twister, and Close-Up, $1 Million Horses. City Pulse with Gord Martineau, Deanie Petty, Jim McKinney, and the City Pulse News team bring you Toronto's news.
Good evening. An international investigation is underway.
Tonight, storing PCBs here.
Tonight, CBS under attack.
Tonight, the cost of money tumbles.
Now, the latest from the City Pulse News team with Gord Martineau and Muskowski, David Onley, Jim McKinney, and John Burgess. This is City Pulse Tonight.
Good evening. Our top story tonight, concern focuses on PCBs.
Good afternoon, I'm Thalia Schuris with some of the stories you'll see on City Pulse at 6.
May 8th, 1987. This is Toronto. Hitting back. Heart stops. And Canada on parade. City Pulse with Gord Martineau. Deanie Petty and the City Pulse News team bring you Toronto's news.
Good evening. More angry words about Harbourfront tonight.
Tonight, chewing on free trade. Tonight, market down, book sales up.
Tonight, award-winning style.
Here's the latest from the City Pulse News team. City Pulse Tonight with J.D. Roberts.
Good evening. Our top story tonight, pitching free trade to Ontario's agriculture industry.
Now it's time for Leon's City Pulse Tonight News Flash. We are on at 11 o'clock after the movie tonight. Some bad accidents and some resulting traffic problems still remain tonight.
February 3rd, 1989. This is Toronto. Shooting spree, battling the blaze, and Toronto NFL bid. City Pulse with Gord Martineau and Muskowski. And the City Pulse News team brings you to Toronto's News.
Good evening. A province-wide alert tonight for two men wanted in connection with last night's random sniper attacks.
Tonight, Pierre Trudeau bookmaker.
Tonight, another separate school closing.
Tonight, the Rupert Hotel fire remembered.
Here's the latest from the City Pulse News team. City Pulse Tonight. Good evening. Our top story tonight, Prime Minister Mulroney sells the Meech Lake Accord.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, Toronto. All the best to you in 1991.
Tuesday, January 1st, the day after a safe New Year's Eve, and more Canadian troops on their way to the Gulf. Good evening. It was one of the quietest, safest, and crime-free New Year's Eve on record.
Saturday, June 29th, reservoir relief, crackdown warning, and a chin picnic. Good evening. The temperatures are finally dropping.
Good morning. It's 7 o'clock, 21 degrees outside. It's going to be a hot, hazy, and humid day. The high will be 32. Humidex will make it feel like the low 40s, so wear something cool when you go out today. Hi, welcome to Breakfast Television. I'm Judy Halliday, and I'm filling in for the vacationing Ann Romer. We have a wonderful show for you today.
Good evening. Fire alarms sent screaming today at another downtown high-rise.
Tonight, jury's still out.
Tonight, George packs his suitcase. Tonight, beautiful South, beautiful music.
Here's the latest from the City Pulse News team. City Pulse Tonight. Good evening. Quiet in your neighborhood tonight? Should have been in Eglinton and Kingston.
Good morning from the assignment desk in the City Pulse newsroom. I'm Kevin Frankish. Here's what's happening on the streets this hour.
What a gorgeous morning. In fact, we're going to be treated to at least 5 days of beautiful weather. Clear skies by Monday. We may see highs of 29 degrees Celsius. Right now it's 14 and it's 7:40.
Welcome to Lunch Television. My name's Jose, and I love to do impersonations.
Hey, this is Wolfman Jackson. We're live in stereo at Citytv. Now here's your host, John Major.
Deal that everybody thinks it is. Oh, sorry, thank you very much. Hey, and welcome to the program. Come on in and say hi to Jennifer Peck of the LT Diner. Hi, Jen.
Hi, John.
Holly Glanders is away all week this week. Yeah, she's not there. But Oliver's here. Holly! I'm doing fine. Welcome to the program. Good stuff lined up for you today. First of all, the band appearing.
Tonight, clean sweep.
Tonight, Sonic Conic.
Ringmore.
News 6 from the scene here, Dennis.
Good evening. A massive police raid and a grateful community tonight.
So thanks for joining us on Before Breakfast Television as we switch over to BT. All right, we enter into the lobby zone right now on this beautiful Wednesday. Going to Breakfast Television. It's going to be beautiful, in fact. 18 degrees are high for today and sunshine. Morning, everyone. Morning, Vanessa. Morning. We have a very, very busy and fun Breakfast Television for you today. I'm getting a tattoo of some sort.
Celsius right now, highs at 25, 8:39. Cloudy skies, it's foggy. There is rain out there. Thunderstorms, lightning possible later today. Good morning, Ray Anderson. What does an illusionist do?
And now it's time for Leon's CityPulse.
I'm Pam Seidel. Coming up, a sexual attack in the West End, a fatal on the roads in Caledon, and remembering our fallen heroes.
Good afternoon. A key day for Ontario Premier hopefuls as all three party chiefs hone their debating skills.
Good evening. Our top stories tonight. Police Constable Rick Shank will go on trial again.
Tonight, shopping frenzy.
Tonight, a rolling moss gathers no stone.
Tonight, a Christmas for all. Good evening. The Christmas rush is on tonight.
Good morning, everybody. Just about 8:30, isn't it? Yep, just about 8:30, going up to a high of 25 degrees. First, here's Kevin.
Thank you very much, Liza. Good morning, everyone. The investigations have begun into a so-called friendly fire accident.
The victim is from what can bring him.
Good evening. We are mourning the sudden loss of a very memorable and much-loved member of our CityPulse family.
Tonight, long way down.
Tonight, may we. Tonight, mellow cello.
Good evening. Right out of a movie on the 401 at the Hogs Hollow Bridge in the evening rush.
It's gross. It's pretty disgusting in there. There are, down near the custodian's room, the air is so rank that your eyes tear up, and it's foul.
Good evening. Toronto schools are back in business.
I'm Alex Pearson. Coming up on CityPulse tonight at 11, will Dalton McGiddy split a gut with Conan O'Brien?
My brother, my best friend, and the most important person in my life.
Tears for the Fallen. A strong Toronto contingent joins a huge turnout of mourners at a national memorial for the 4 slain Mounties. I'm live tonight in Edmonton.
Heroes on duty.
If everything goes right, yes, we're saving lives, we're preventing people from being injured. That's what we do.
The firefighters who put out the flames on a man who set himself ablaze.
The sandwich generation, smack dab in the middle.
Good evening. A nation united in grief pays its final respects to 4 fallen RCMP officers.
Good evening. Here's what Toronto's talking about today.
Good evening. An orphan French teen who was called Toronto home for the past 8 years is being sent packing.
I'm out of a job. I'm out of a job.
General Motors bombshell.
This is not the end. There will be more to come.
Oshawa devastated by job cuts. Why GM's most productive plant was made a scapegoat.
This is very much a bone being thrown to the UAW.
Toxic school buses.
The emissions from their tailpipes and from their engine compartment seems to be seeping into the school bus.
The design flaw that's pumping dangerous fumes into the school bus and your children's lungs.
And now we're complaining that their grades are all lower. Well, it's because they're half stunned by the time they get there.
It's definitely taking years off my life.
Stuck in traffic? Not if you've got a cell phone.
Now you got some control over that. You know exactly what you're going to face.
Your mobile phone is going to make your drive to work stress-free.
Good evening. They were tops in their field, and they still lost their job.
Toronto's #1 morning show is now Canada's first in HD.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I bet you're expecting to see an infomercial on this morning. Ha! Well, you got us.
Hey, good morning. It's coming to 7 o'clock. Let's look at our top stories.
Right now on City News at 5, your top stories.
Canada Day holiday weekend's traditionally been a deadly one, and that's a tradition that sadly has continued.
A lot of good memories right
Good evening. Whatever you're planning on Canada Day, you should have great weather tomorrow.
I'm Roger Peterson, and we are looking at the face of Toronto, but it may be changing. Coming up, we'll tell you about the island that's proposed for the Portlands.
City News, the 5, right now.
I just don't think that they should be able to get away with this.
They're there to protect us, so they should have nothing to hide.
A family pet dead after a takedown. I'm Tammy Sutherland in Brampton. Why Peel police are refusing to comment on whether officers opened fire.
In danger.
Good evening, I'm Avery Haynes, and we begin tonight with a City News exclusive investigation that goes to the very heart of police transparency.
That's a wrap for this half hour. City News at 6 with Gordon Ann begins. Out of the newsroom, on the street, City News everywhere. The following City TV program is available in high definition.
Live from Yonge Dundas Square, this is City News at 6.
Tonight on City News at 6.
Answering the bell.
Umbrella coming up.
Back to work, back to school, and back to the future. This is a live look around our brand new home at City TV. Good evening and welcome to Yonge and Dundas, an area that in this city.
Tonight on City News at 6.
It's gonna live with me for the rest of my life.
Their family pet shot right before their eyes.
They're there to protect us, so they should have nothing to hide.
A City News exclusive reveals a series of shootings in Peel region and why police have said nothing about them.
What you're doing today, it's new. Frankly, it's brand new.
Could Toronto have a new island?
It's one of the biggest urban renewal projects we could possibly pursue.
How a plan to revamp the waterfront could put new real estate on the map. And an early warning for rape.
This is just one step in the right direction, and communities are doing it already. We're just supporting it.
How a remarkable idea is offering a new level of protection for women. Good evening, and we continue now with our City News exclusive, which we first brought you on the 5.
Tonight on City News, a healthcare in crisis.
The hallway was just lined up with gurneys. Nobody was helping them with their bathroom needs, with their hygiene. They were just sort of left there just to rot.
How patients who shouldn't be in hospital are taking up bed space for those who desperately need it.
We have a province that hasn't got a strategy to deal with the ALC crisis other than try to kick people out of hospital.
And the dangerous side of our national pastime.
You've got a lot of guys. It's very competitive. People push themselves beyond their limit. And you're not really aware that you're having a heart attack until it's happening to you.
We reveal the unique stress hockey puts on older players.
One of the things you should be doing when you're off on the bench, is to stand, to keep the heart rate going. Of course, none of us do it because we're all too tired.
And good evening. We continue our City News investigation into just what's going on inside Trillium's Mississauga Hospital.
We hope and we love Brandon, and we hope and we love for his family.
A search ends in tragedy.
My heart dropped when I heard the terrible news today.
A grief-stricken community comes together to remember a missing teen.
It's believed at this time that it is Brandon Crisp.
After police confirm a family's worst fears.
You start realizing how cherished your kids are.
Like into the weekend.
Good evening. Tears for a life cut far too short.
This is City News, your #1 local newscast at 11.
We've had one house that has been severely damaged due to an explosion.
Welcome to City News. I'm Shauna Hunt in Mississauga with continuing coverage of a deadly house explosion.
This is City News International. Here are your world news headlines for Monday, April 28th. House of Horror. An Austrian man confesses to keeping his daughter locked away for more than 2 decades and fathering her 7 children. Attack in Afghanistan. President Hamid Karzai escapes a Taliban assassination attempt. Raging wildfires.
This is an early fire season. The fuel load is heavy.
California's fire season gets off to a blazing start. Good evening. I'm Gord Martineau. The lead tonight. Austria is in shock.
Six o'clock. Yeah, you're watching breakfast television. Several arrests have been made in Iran over the shooting down of a Ukrainian plane that killed all 176 people aboard, including 57 Canadians. Peel police are investigating a suspicious death after a body was found in a green space near Queen and Highway 50 in Brampton early yesterday evening. The gender and identity of the person have not been released.
This came out yesterday afternoon. Leafs losing defenseman Morgan Riley for up to 8 weeks with a fractured foot he suffered in Sunday's loss to Florida. He logged the most ice time of any Leaf so far this season, so it's a major loss.
Good morning. There's a look at Yonge Dundas Square this morning as you step your way out the door.
Just be careful. We have a little risk of some freezing drizzle. Details coming up.
And of course, we were just talking about this. Harry and Meghan, all the controversy that is going on. We speak to Robert Baines from the St. George's Society about the future of the Royals here in Canada and in England. Coming up, we're filling you in on the Jays Winterfest, and there might be a giveaway. Stay tuned. Might be.
By the way, when we say might be, pretty safe to say yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's
B.
Love those lights.
B.
Baby.
Just watch.
We're getting close.
Maybe.
Spring training is what? 2 weeks? They have pitchers reported in 2 weeks?
A fitting end to a magical season. In the hands of the fun guy, the MVP, going northward to let a city know it's time to party. As the saying goes, if you build it, they will come. And the people came, and they kept coming. Tens of thousands. The east, the west, the north and south. And from the aptly named park, snaking their way up the streets to the city's heart, with hands united across the GTA for the sweetest celebration the Six has ever seen.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us as the city continues to enjoy the Raptors' NBA championship win.
Tonight on City News.
The mourning for the victims of the plane crash that went down in Iran continues.
They're never going to come back to me. I'm never going to be able to hold my niece again. I'm never going to be able to hold my sister again.
Tonight, another family member shares his grief and anger along with the plans to help remember his sister, brother-in-law, and one-year-old niece.
More job action in the classroom.
Ontario's Catholic teachers will be implementing a province-wide, one-day full withdrawal of services on Tuesday, January 21st.
For the first time in more than 20 years, Catholic school teachers are engaging in a one-day province-wide strike, while more than 500,000 students will be out of the class.
I'm Mark McAllister at a community center here in Ajax, where a vigil.
What began as a robbery at a high-end handbag store in Yorkville ended up in carnage just a few kilometers away. Coming up on City News, the heart-stopping witness account and why the police are on the hunt for suspects that fled this scene. It's a scene that could very well be from an action movie. The carnage at the corner of Jarvis and Wellesley.
This is City News Everywhere.
Good evening and welcome to City News. If you haven't yet, get ready to roll up your sleeve.
Happening tonight in Toronto.
What I heard today from the minister was he's given up.
Remote online learning will be an option again for all students straight across Ontario this coming September. Tonight, is it a political play to make it a permanent fixture?
We've committed ourselves to consulting on providing that choice.
Again, I reiterate from all chief medical officers that the AstraZeneca vaccine deployed in the middle of a third wave has saved lives and prevented serious illness.
The Public Health Agency of Canada tries to clarify NACI's COVID vaccine advice that you can wait for your preferred vaccine if you live in a low-risk area.
A TTC bus driver is assaulted for telling customers to wear masks.
This is not new to the TTC, and it just keeps happening.
The transit union calls for more safety precautions coming up.
This is City News Everywhere.
Good evening, I'm Adrian Gobriel. Welcome to City News. Virtual online learning will be offered yet again for all students across the province of Ontario this coming school year.
Happening tonight in Toronto.
Heartbreak in Mississauga after a young child is struck by a vehicle.
At this time, I am saddened to say that 5-year-old child has died as a result of the injuries that they sustained.
How the accident unfolded and the latest on the investigation.
This is City News Everywhere.
Good evening. We begin our coverage tonight in Mississauga, where a 5-year-old boy is dead after being struck by a vehicle.
City Pulse is everywhere, getting the story, a day in the life of Toronto. You'll be there, because when the action happens, City Pulse is on the scene. Be there when Toronto's best reporters cover the latest breaking news, the entertainment scene, and the world of sports. Be there with accurate weather, informed commentary, and a look at what's happening on the streets. City Pulse, a day in the life of Toronto. Weeknights at 6 with Gord Martineau, Deanie Petty, and Peter Gross. City Pulse, everywhere.